Hello there, Qckslvrslash here, and today we have a video from Commander Com in the Tier 10 American battleship, the Montana. And the Montana has become more popular, I'd say, since the patch lowered her citadel a bit. She's definitely a little tankier, but that all comes with the requirement that you still have to angle the ship correctly. You know, no ship is immune to citadels, at least the ones that have them, destroyers excluded. And you'll see so often battleship players, like, I think they get in their head that, oh, I'm a top tier battleship player. I'm invincible. I can sail broadside on, only for like a destroyer at close range to just start popping shells in, or cruiser. And you can mitigate that entirely with proper angling. Now, to Commander Com's own admission, this game starts off a little slow. And that's not a bad thing. You can get yourself into a lot of trouble in these top tier battleships by trying to charge in, thinking you're maybe a little stronger than you really are. So Commander puts himself in, a pretty far back position. Didn't really need to sail all that far forward with a 23.6 kilometer gun range. You can up that with the spotting plane. He's going to be able to hit things that get spotted. And this isn't a bad place. He's more or less bow in to the majority of enemy positions, kind of just waiting for enemy ships to get spotted. And a gearing shows up on the map, so he uses that helpful leader line to aim in on the right location before he gets spotted, but looking at it, decides it's not a shot he wants to take. At just under 21 kilometers, trying to hit a destroyer with a battleship, not the wisest decision. There's so many better things your shells could be used for, and it would also give up his location. And the second you do that, maybe the enemy team starts to get a little aggressive. I've got a Fletcher up there. You can see the torpedoes in the water. No real threat from those to Commander, because, well, the gearing can't throw torpedoes this far. The Fletcher certainly can't. That said, starts to look at him, maybe move in. Looks like the Fletcher could have run aground. The smoke concealing him, but Commander decides, no, this is a shot I'm going to take. Nothing else to spot him. He fires. There's nothing else here, so starts moving forward. And in battleships, anytime you can kind of get the side or back of your enemy ships, you'll gladly take it. And this flank is pretty unguarded, so he's going to be able to get up north and shoot down through this gap really into the sides of ships like this Missouri. And if he doesn't have good shots, he can continue around and get shots into their stern. So a bit of luck that no one else came up here to A, but Commander is smart for taking advantage of it, and also not sitting still. Once again, when you decide that, no, I'm going to wait, see where people go, you can't wait forever. And that's really the big difference. There's so many like little things, and in my How I Play series, I try to talk about why I make the decisions I make when I'm making them, because you can't just go and give a strategy, be like, here's exactly how you do this ship. I find ships a little different from tanks from that, because tanks, there's tanks where you can be like, this is how you play it. Sit back, angle your hull, or the hull of your tank this much, and laugh as things can't penetrate you, shoot back. A lot of ships comes down to positioning on the map. There's not a lot of things to go hull down or hide your citadel from. Yeah, there's islands that sometimes you can shoot behind, but for the most part, you shoot, you're going to be detected. And Commander takes a broadside Missouri as a target to shoot at. Not as much as he'd like. Only 2 of the shells penetrating, 1 for the overpen, 6,700 damage. You want more, and that's when a Harakaze shows up close range. The secondary's opening up to signal his arrival, and luckily the shells are nearly loaded. And AP, HE, it don't matter. If you connect with a destroyer, you do damage. And 2 penetrations, 5 overpens, adding up to no more Harakaze. And Commander just continues on his merry way. Picks up a first kill, and this Missouri's gotten himself into a tough spot. Kind of charged into the middle of the map. That's why I said it was kind of smart for Commander to just hold off for a moment, because you can see this Missouri has run himself out of space and is having to slam the brakes on, try to tuck himself into that shore. Commander picking up a second kill. Once again, only about 7,000 damage, but more than enough. 2 kills in, you'll always take that this early in a game for really not a lot of damage in return. Now there is still a Fletcher somewhere ahead, but with the Harakaze out in front of him, he's got a good torpedo screen. There's no real way that Fletcher's going to sneak up, especially considering he's also not detected. So that gives you an idea that the Fletcher, you know, he's down in like E9, F9. He's probably running fairly far south right now. So continue on out to the flank, try to get the sides of more ships. It's really the name of the game. Beyond that, just keep yourself angled. And really a good base strategy for how to angle a ship: if you can fire your rear guns at a target, you are not angled well enough. And that's your starting place. When you're angling to resist damage, your rear guns no longer exist. Don't try to use them. Don't get cheeky thinking you can rotate your hull in between shots, because inevitably you're going to swing them. Well, swing your rudder over, your hull will come around, and pretty much when you get shots, the enemy team will have shots at you. And pretty decent ones. Now, I reviewed the Richelieu, well, kind of previewed, shared a replay of the Richelieu, and in it I said, you know, she's a fairly tanky ship. That's obviously bow on. The side like this, if Commander can land the shells, she's gonna take damage. Unfortunately, a little overlead there, only 5,400, but it's still more damage on the board, up to 32,000. With a position like this, the damage will come, and that's kind of the key to battleships, is patience. Just keep taking your shots as you get them, and eventually it'll all work out, and you'll get what you're after. He adjusts his aim a bit, those shells landing further back, and 23,000 damage, pretty much halving the Richelieu's health with that volley. And that's kind of the strength of the position Commander's gotten himself into here. He has the sides of pretty much everything, because for any of those ships down south to angle inwards on him, they have to give their sides to the Ismo, Montana, Amagi down south. Now, a Yamato is spotted out at range, and Commander takes a shot. And the Yami is definitely a ship that, in the Montana, you have to be wary of. It can do some pretty big damage to you, so gotta get that bow in, angle correctly, and honestly close. Where the Montana really starts to outclass the Yami is at close and medium range. And the straight up reason is more responsive guns, and more guns. And when you get close to a Yamato, suddenly she's not so strong. Pretty much, I think most people have figured out, you aim kind of at the bulge on the hull under her number 2 gun, you can pretty much punch into her citadel, even if she's decently angled, if you get close enough. And that's just another reason why in a battleship you kind of want to hang back at first. Don't go charging in and eating big damage. Later game, by all means, you've got hit points, use them, but don't throw yourself away early game thinking you need to get close. A nice citadel there, and you can see he's kind of just keeping himself angled, keeps checking out the Yami, and like to 15 degrees on the bow is all it's going to take. And the Yami getting greedy, swings the stern out to get that rear gun firing, and honestly a missed shot there. A little underled, and doesn't get the damage, but continues to close, keeping himself angled. And you can see Yamato's just not able to do a lot. And at this point, 6 kilometers, 2 things need to be going through your head. Number 1, are they just going to try to ram me? And at this point, I'd say, no, the Yamato's not. Simple reason, the Yamato's got more health. If If she were on 10,000 hit points, you better believe I'd personally be breaking. But the Yami having so many hit points left, you know, shoot at other things. If the ram comes, it comes. Get damage in, and then when you ram, you get all that damage. The Donskoy, it's not a strong ship. It's not the Moskva. It cannot bow tank, and, well, that last volley proved that. Commander getting a great hit in. And now Commander has position on both the Donskoy and the Yamato. And the Yami is just sliding shells down the hull. And you'll notice what Commander's doing here. He is preparing for a shot on the Yami, but he's looking to his side. He's not looking forward at the Yami, because the second you do that, your guns rotate that way. He's keeping his guns where he wants them for the engagement. And that is pretty much full broadside. Now, the Yami puts in a big shot, but Commander's going to return the favor. 3 Citadels, gets the repair party off, and ducks the Donskoy's torpedoes. And at this range, this is where the Monty really starts to pay off. If you're in a Yami right now, and you had just finished off that enemy ship, there is no way your turrets get around for the shot on the Donskoy. And the Donskoy is making a smart play. He's trying to carousel. He's trying to kite around, make the guns chase. But the Montana has far faster turrets. Gets another kill, 2 Citadels, up to 167,000 damage. Needs to get the bow over a bit against this Bama. Don't want to eat a big Citadel here. You can see the Alabama turning in. We've got the Zhao at range, and for a moment he sets up to start shooting the Zhao. 44 seconds. And at this point, if you're Commander, a ram is an alternative. The belt armor gobbling those shells up, and here it comes. Shot at the Zhao, and the ram on the Alabama. And you can see the Alabama turning, but it is too late. Come on, just has to get there. 357 hit points. Gets the ram, the high caliber, the Kraken. Sadly, the volley on the Zhao not really connecting for much, but definitely had the potential. And not all in all too bad a start. Now, personally, probably could have preserved a few more hit points on that Yami by just angling in a little more, but I think he felt the Yami wouldn't have the reload in time, and that's why he kind of sat broadside like that. Was fortunate to survive that heavy hit and paid it back all in kind. Now, I've spoken to Commander since the video, and the reason he held his fire on the Yami there was he wanted to guarantee the shells didn't bounce. Like, he made sure he got the kill, and it almost cost him his life, but he did survive, and then got the Yami, got the repair, and did everything to get that Donskoy and the Alabama, and all told took home some great money, almost 13,000 experience, Dev Strike, Kraken, high caliber, 223,000 damage, and those 5 kills, and a ram is a great way to tack on a bunch of damage to a game. That was like 60k or something to the Alabama, who really there's no way Commander's surviving that. He had 375 hit points and it just put out a fire. One more volley from the Zhao and it would have been over. So the ram was the smart move, and it really kind of locked down the flank for the team. No surprise that he comes on top of the team in this one with the damage and kills. Just shy of 2,800 base experience, and hey, he even got the 1 plane. Always fun to tack those on. As far as the damage goes, you can see 68,000 to that Alabama, 40,000 to the Donskoy, that was 1 volley. The Yamato, 32,000, got to the side, put those shells into turret 2, did work to that Missouri, the Harakaze, and just put down a good game. The armor stood strong. That Donskoy was just sliding shells down the side of his ship, unable to penetrate that belt. And that's really where the Montana can get really strong. The risk, obviously, was torpedoes from the Donskoy, but he missed them. Commander was wise to slow up and turn in, and it paid off. 427,000 credits, and like I said, 12,000 XP, 31,000 for a Commander, and a fun game to watch and commentate. Thank you, Commander, for sending this one my way. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'm Qckslvrslash. I'll have another one for you all later.